Radharani, turn on your video. Okay. So thank you, everyone. So His Grace Amrithari Prabhu, we start with Radhika Ashtakam.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What's the flow? We go to Radhika Ashtakam, we go till 8:30, and post that we have Japa, right?
Yeah.
And 8:45 we have Q&A. Till
Yes.
Is this? No, I'm not making up, right? Is it correct? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, thank
you.
Thank you. So we'll have a beautiful melodious Radhika Ashtakam. So I request you all. Now what we'll do is, you will not be able to repeat with me. I'm having my harmonium here. You will have to sing along with me. Iskcon Calgary devotees in muted form, you can sing along with me. Okay, we will have this wonderful bhajan of Radhika Ashtakam. Okay, you all other participants can be muted. I'll try to sing. श्री राधिकाष्टकम की जय श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी पाद की जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की कुंकुमाक्त कांचनाब्ज गर्वहारि गौरभाव पीतलांचिताब्जगन्ध कीर्तिनिंदि सौरभ मल्लवीश सूनु सर्व वंचितार्थ साधिका मय्यमात्म पाद पद्म दास्यनास्तु राधिका सौरविन्दकान्तिनिन्दि चित्रपाटशाटिका कृष्णमात्मवृन्दकेली पुल्लपुष्पवाटिका कृष्णनित्यसङ्गमार्त पद्मबन्धुराधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्यनास्तु राधिका सौकुमार्य श्रेष्ठपल्लवालिकीर्तिनिग्रहा चन्द्रचन्दनात्मलेन्दु सेव्यशीतवेद्रहा स्वाभिमर्षवल्लवीश कामतापबाधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्यनास्तु राधिका विश्ववन्द्ययौवताभि वन्दिता प्रिया रमा रूपनयौवनादि सम्पदानयत्समा शीलहार्दलीलया च सायतोऽस्ति नादिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्यनास्तु राधिका रासलास्यवेतनर्म सत्कलानि पण्डिता प्रेमरम्यरूपवेश सद्गुणादिमण्डिता ईश्वराव्यगोपयोषित हलितोऽपि आदिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्यनास्तु राधिका नित्यनव्यरूपकेली कृष्णभावसम्पदा कृष्णराग तत्समाधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका स्वेन कम्पकण्टकाश्रु गद्गदादिसञ्चिता मर्षहर्षवामदादि भावभूषणाञ्चिता कृष्णनेत्रतोषिरत्न मण्डनालिदादिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका या क्षणार्ध कृष्णमित्र योगसन्ततोदिता एकदैन्यचापरादि भाववृन्दमोदिता यात्मलब्धकृष्णसङ्ग निर्गता किलादिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका अष्टकेन स्तनेन नौति कृष्णवल्लभा दर्शनेऽपि शैलजादि योषिदाद्विदुर्लभा कृष्णसङ्गनन्दितात्म दास्यसि दुभाजनम् तं करोति नन्दितादि सञ्चयाशु साजनम् मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका मय्यमात्मपादपद्म दास्य दास्तु राधिका हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा कुंज बिहारी राधा कुंज बिहारी राधे जय गौरनिताय पतित पावन गौरनिताय प्रभुपाद जय श्री श्री राधा माधव भगवान की श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी भगवान की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमांब दिव्य छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रस प्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते वंदे अनंतागुणैश्वर्यं श्री नित्यानंदमीश्वरं यस्येच्छया तत्स्वरूपम् अज्ञेनापि निरूपयते हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतोपंगो ममन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदामोदो राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठादिसेवमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थिता कर्षण्येणुस्वनेर्गोपी गोपीनाथा श्रेयस्तयः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये देवी कृष्णमयी प्रोक्ता राधिका परदेवता सर्वलक्ष्मीमयी सर्वकान्ति सम्मोहिनी परः गोविन्द नन्दिनी राधा गोविन्द मोहिनी गोविंद सर्वस्व सर्वकांता शिरोमणि Hare Krishna. You are all able to hear Radhika Ashtakam, or there was some disturbance with the harmonium or anything? It was clear?
It was perfect, Prabhuji. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Consciousness was perfect, I guess. Thank you so much. I was just wondering, devotees are watching, singing, what? I was absorbed in my own world. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Actually, the moment His Grace Amrit Hari Prabhu invited me for this particular lecture on Radha Ashtami, I immediately, and I actually from my heart felt very unqualified. So I told, actually, I'm not very qualified to give this lecture. You please find someone. If you want, I'll join you. I'll join and hear that lecture. But Prabhu was determined. And there's one very Vaishnava whom I regard very much in my heart. His Grace Rasa Mukund Prabhu is our Rishabh Prabhu's father. So he called me and he told, you have to give the lecture. I said, that's it. If it pleases you, I'll definitely give. So I've just come for the pleasure of Vaishnavas like His Grace Amrit Hari Prabhu, His Grace Rasa Mukund Prabhu, Rishabh Prabhu. I've just come for that purpose. But personally, I don't have any qualification to speak. But however, we are celebrating our, it's not international, Universal Mother's Day. We're going to find out how. Yes, many people celebrate Father's Day, Mother's Day, Friendship Day, you know, a lot of days. So Universal Mother's Day, that is occasion of Sri Radha Ashtami. And I suppose Iskcon Calgary is celebrating Radha Ashtami today?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, Jai, very well. So wish you all a very, very happy and amazing Radha Ashtami. Thank you so much for making me a part of this glorious occasion. So, in fact, once Srila Prabhupada had to give a lecture on Radha Ashtami. You know what Prabhupada did? If you all turn on videos, I'll tell you what Prabhupada did. Something amazing. So what Prabhupada did was, in his entire lecture, it was Radha Ashtami day, and Prabhupada in his whole lecture kept glorifying Krishna. Krishna. He was speaking of Krishna, and all devotees were looking at each other and they were wondering, I think Prabhupada has forgotten today is Radha Ashtami. He still thinks it is Janma Ashtami. You know, people are wondering. So till the end of the lecture, he kept glorifying only Krishna. And now you are also surprised. Ye kya ho gaya? How can Prabhupada make bhool? How can Prabhupada make a mistake like this? And at the end, he said, even this Krishna worships Srimati Radharani. This Supreme Personality of Krishna, whom I glorified for the last 30-35 minutes, also worships Srimati Radharani. there used to be a very, very amazing devotee. His name was Jayadeva. Yes, Jayadeva. And Jayadev had decided that he would remain a brahmachari for his whole life. I don't want to marry. I simply want to do Krishna bhajan. And I will. And Krishna used to bless him with immense mercy. And Jayadev's heart would get flooded with so much of knowledge. And he would write wonderful poetries one after the other. He would write wonderful excerpts of the scriptures. And people would just read in a nectarian manner. Jayadev stayed in the outskirts of Jagannath Puri. On the other hand, in Jagannath Puri, there was a very amazing devotee of Lord who was married, and he really wanted to have a child. Yes. Now it says, Putrarte kriyate bharya, and putra pindarte kriyate putra. So everyone has to get married. You need to have progeny. That is the purpose of getting married. So I need to have a child. Oh Jagannath ji, I don't have a child. I don't have a child. He was worried. Bacha nahi mera. I don't have a child. So he goes to Jagannath and prays very intensely and says, Jagannath, if I get a child, if I ever get a child, if you bless me, if you give me mercy and I get a child, I will offer that child in your service. So please accept this child in your service. And immediately, as soon as Jagannath heard his prayers, and immediately this gentleman begot a child. He got a child. And he was very happy. The child, he was expecting a son, but the child turned out to be daughter, but he was very happy. There's no problem. Daughter, son is a child. Now the daughter grew up. But one thing I promised you that I will have a child and I'll offer that child in your service. I thought I'll make that son into brahmachari and offer you in Jagannath service. But it's a girl child. What should I do, my Lord? And that's when Jagannath spoke that not very far from here, there is a very great saint who lives in a small hut. His name is Jayadev. Yes, the same brahmachari we have spoken about. Go and give your daughter in marriage to that person, Jayadev. Go. So this man takes his daughter and takes him up to Jayadev and gives his daughter, whose name was Padmavati, gives it. Please take. Jayadev said, what is this? Please take. People give me bhiksha, yes. People give me rice. You want to give rice, prasad. You want to give me something very nice. You give. I will accept prasad. What is this you are coming and giving? You want to give khaja of Jagannath Puri? I love it. Yes, I will take wonderful prasad. What is you are coming and giving your daughter? I have no interest to get married. I want to remain like this. I am very happy in life. I want to remain like this. He says, I don't know all that stuff. Jagannath told to get married. You go tell Jagannath I can't get married to her because I don't want to marry at all. And what that guy does, he takes Jayadev's hands, the daughter's hands, and that is Pani Grahanam. He finishes and then he catches his dhoti and runs away from that place. She is all yours. I followed the instruction of Jagannath. And he leaves the place. And Jayadev Goswami says, well, this is the will of Lord. All right, I'll accept it. And Jayadev was, even in his Grihastha life, he was very, very, both husband and wife were amazing Vaishnavas. And Jayadev Goswami was to write exactly whatever is inspired in his heart. And one such day when he was writing a very beautiful poem called the Gita Govindam. The Gita Govindam is such a dear poetry to Jagannath that even today Jagannath will not this Antim Prahar, the last Prahar when the darshan is given. Without hearing Gita Govinda, Jagannath will not go. Don't put me to sleep now. No, I will not go for Adivas. Adivas is where deities also rest. I will not go. I will like to hear Gita Govinda. Gita Govinda is so dear to Jagannath that there is a cloth which is completely inscribed with the Gita Govinda, which is offered to the Lord's body. And Lord wears that. He accepts that shawl. He accepts that dress. Such a dear poetry. So in the Gita Govinda he was writing, suddenly there was an inspiration that Radharani is so transcendental, divine and supreme that even Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, takes the dust of Srimati Radharani and applies on his head. And this was too much for Jayadev to digest. Jayadev's head started spinning. He said, my God, I think something's going wrong. Okay, let me reset. Let me try to switch off my system and come again. So again, that's what we do, right? So he switched off and again turned on, and the system was there only. Yes, Srimati Radharani is so great that Krishna takes the dust from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, and Jayadev said, I think I need a break. I've been writing too long. How is that possible? Supreme Personality of God. He is the Supreme Person. Everybody else serves him. Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. How is this possible? Let me go and take a bath. So Jayadev goes for taking a bath. And he tells his wife, I'm going to take a bath. After taking a bath, I will come and have some nice prasad. I'll have good rest. And with a peaceful mind, I will continue writing. Yes, because seems to be some bug or error in my realization. Something is wrong with the connection. So that is when what happens is Jayadev goes and his wife bolts the door, and she goes on to do the household chores and making a bhoga to be offered to Lord, etc. So that when her husband arrives, she can offer him prasad, Krishna Prasad. And then she would eat. She would honor Krishna Prasad. And Jayadev comes back very quickly. He comes back very quickly. And she opens the door. He says, Swami, you're back. That was so fast. So quickly you're back. He said, yes, I've got a very urgent work to do. I've got an amazing work to do. So please give me prasad quickly. And so he eats. He eats the prasad which is cooked by his wife. And then the wife takes the remnants. That's what traditionally ladies would do. So she takes the remnants of the foodstuff. And Jayadev goes inside. And that time there's a knock on the door. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And wife is wondering, who has come during prasadam time to disturb us? Who is this? Then she opens the door and there she finds Jayadev. And Jayadev finds his wife's hand with prasad on her hands. There is dal, rice here on the hands. And he has seen that she started taking prasad without me. And Jayadev was shocked. He said, you started taking Krishna Prasad without even giving me. What happened? What made you not wait? What you could not control your hunger? And wife was spellbound. She was shocked. Huh? If you are my husband, who is the guy who walked in? And he's like, what? No, he also got people to do. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I just know. No, you came before and I gave you, I fed you. And Jayadev Goswami does nothing. He directly goes to his place where he was writing his work, his poetry. And he finds that somebody has completed the line which states in Sanskrit that Srimati Radharani is so very, very supremely great that even the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna takes dust from her lotus feet. And that's when Jayadev gets tears in his eyes and he says, oh Priye, my dear wife, the personality who had come before me was actually Jagannath. Sakshat Jagannath had come. You got the darshan of Jagannath in my form. And you personally fed him. So even Jagannath had to come from his Ratna Simhasan to testify this particular fact. That Srimati Radharani is so great that even I take the dust from a lotus feet. Yes. So today we are going to be discussing, we're celebrating the appearance day of Srimati Radharani. Actually, it is limitless. We can go on discussing. Yes, time is the limit because I really had to prepare a lot for this class because I'm not qualified. So I heard many senior devotees. I heard my spiritual master. Whatever little bit I've tried to prepare. So once there was a devotee who was normally the pastime, he was a brahmachari devotee. And the pastime of brahmachari devotees is go to the upper berth and read. That's what I also do. We want peaceful reading time. We don't get time for reading. I joined the ashram thinking that I will get a lot of time for sadhana. It was a big joke. Right? I did more sadhana when I was in my bachelor days than in ashram days. So traveling time is like the bumper offer that we get to sit. We go to the upper berth. We prefer don't take flights as much as possible. Flights is quick journey. Yes. Trains, very good journey. Please give us train ticket. We go on the top berth and start reading. So there was a very senior brahmachari who was that time he quoted a story to all of us. He took his book, yes, and he was reading on top. And that book contained a picture, a beautiful picture of Srinathji. Yes, Krishna's picture. And below, now he was on the top, and below there is a woman who was staring at him like this. So Prabhu looked by side angle. Oh, there is somebody who's giving a stare. Krishna is giving a sidelong glance, a very sweet, loving sidelong glance. And this lady is giving me staring anger glance as though she wants to burn me up. So he just smiled. The brahmachari smiled at her. If you need something. And the question that she asked It's a very commonly asked question, but that was a very feminist question. The question is, why should God be a man? Why does God always have to be a man? That was a question. No, she was not in a mood submissive inquiry like Arjuna asked. But Arjuna was asking this particular question to Krishna. Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivaspata. Katam etadu vijaniyam tammado proktavaniti. How do I know, Krishna, that you spoke this knowledge? How can I understand this, that you spoke this divine knowledge to Sun God? Arjuna was so very submissive. She was so very challenging. How can God be man? She was enraged. And this brahmachari now understood. Now, when a person is angry, that to a Mataji, dangerous situation. What to do? So he prayed to Srimati Radharani. He prayed to Srimati Radharani before answering this. And he started to explain. He started answering. He tried to be very light, very friendly. He tried to make the mood lighten up. And he said, whether man or woman, we need to understand that God made us all. Yes or no? I said, yes. God made everything. Fine. This much was agreed upon. Then we need to understand that ultimately we are not this body, we are spirit souls. He quoted Bhagavad Gita and said, yes, please understand, we are not this body, we are the soul. Natvevaham jatunatsam natvam nime janadibaha nachayivana bhavishyamaha sarve vayamataparam. We are all that eternal soul who never dies. That is also accepted. And this, as far as this body is concerned, a male, female body, yes, this all keeps changing. This birth, you may be a woman, I may be a man. In next birth, there is a very good likelihood you may be a man, I may be a woman. It is possible. There's a good likelihood in the previous life you might have been man, I might have been woman. So this man, woman, these are all simply external dress on the soul. So this also was accepted, this point. Very systematically the devotee explained. And then he told, what to speak of other birth? Nowadays, technology is so advanced that people can change their gender even in this birth. Yeah, people undergo sex operation, gender operation. They change their gender even today in this birth. Yeah, man becomes woman, woman becomes man. So these are all external phenomena. Yes, but ultimately the Shastras teach us one thing. You said why God has to be a man. Okay, that lady was a very intellectual lady. She was a professor in the college. She was not she was a tough nut to crack. Yes, so she said that, so the Prabhu told her, you need to understand that ultimately God is described as Purusha and everybody is described as Prakriti. So technically speaking, we are all females in relation to God. God is absolute. He is Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. And sometimes even living entity is addressed as Purusha in scriptures. No? He said, Purusha Prakritistohi Bhukte Prakriti Jar Gunan Karanam Gunasangasya Sad Asad Yoni Janmashu. So even a living entity is called a Purusha, but the Purusha that is called upon by the living entity is an imitating enjoyer. Whether in male body or female body, both are called as Purusha. Yeah, the Shastras even call a female or a male as Purusha. Why? Because they are trying to imitate that supreme Purusha. But she said, question is the same, na. Ultimately, you are telling God is male. She was now asking, why God has to be male only? So we need to understand God or absolute truth is complete. Yes, absolute truth is complete. Mahato Mahiyan Anayor Aniyam. He's smaller than the smallest. He's bigger than the biggest. A person the other day asked, if Krishna is all beautiful, he should be all ugly also. He said, yes. The Virat Roop of Krishna, the universal form of Krishna is very ugly. Nothing can be uglier than that. Correct? The person was asking, if Krishna is all loving, he has to be all lusty also. Yes, Prabhupada said he's unlimitedly lusty. You cannot imitate that also. God is unlimitedly lusty. Even that cannot be imitated. So, similarly, the Shastras teach us, just as absolute truth is complete. So, just as the absolute truth has masculinity, the feminine aspect of absolute truth does also exist. So absolute truth is the masculine aspect plus the feminine aspect, both. So the definition of absolute truth we will understand in the Shastras. Absolute truth is Radha plus Krishna. Radha plus Krishna. So there is no question of all of us doing bhakti There is no question of all of us practicing this Krishna consciousness without understanding Srimati Radharani. Yes. So that is very important, because ultimately it's Srimati Radharani who completes the absolute truth. Krishna plus Radha is equal to absolute truth. Now let's try to understand them. Now, from absolute truth, what is this absolute truth? We need to understand. So there's a beautiful shloka that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes. Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dui Deha Dhari Anyona Vilase Rasa Swadana Kori. Beautiful, right? So this verse, it speaks the truth about Radha and Krishna. There is an absolute truth and there's a truth about Radha and Krishna. So Radha Krishna Eka Atma. Radha plus Krishna is actually sum total called as the absolute truth. But now, Dui Deha Dari, that absolute truth has accepted two bodies. Yes, Dui Deha Dari. Why? Why is that one absolute truth? Absolute truth is one. Accepted two bodies. Anyonya Vilase Rasa Swadana Puri, to exchange love. Yes, because if you want to experience love, you need more than one person. So in order to taste love, in order to taste mellows, in order to perform pastimes, that one absolute truth has expanded into two as Radha and Krishna. Yes, this is what is told as Radha and Krishna. Yeah. So if you see the three aspects of absolute truth, I will get into pastime, don't worry. Devotees are waiting. When is pastime? Prabhuji, thoda Leela batao. Leela. Come, don't worry. You understand the theory, understand the tattva, you will better appreciate the Leela. Otherwise, we will take the Leela on a sentimental platform. That's something we don't want, right? We don't want that. So let us try to understand the Leela. There are three aspects of absolute truth. I'll put it on the chat also for everyone to. The first aspect is called Param Tattva. The second is called as Sarva Shaktiman. And the third one is called Akhila Rasamrita Murtihi. So Krishna is called, the absolute truth has three aspects: Param Tattva, Sarva Shaktiman, and Akhila Rasamrita Murti. So there's often a debate. Who is superior, Krishna or Radha? Somebody, there can't be both in the first place. Somebody has to take the first place, and another has to take the second place. So who is superior? Let us study Bhagavad Gita. So what does Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say? Krishna says in the 7th chapter, 7th verse, Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Proktam Sutre Maniganaiva. So Lord Krishna very clearly says, I am Param Tattva. Param means the best. Tattva means aspect. So the best aspect of absolute truth is Krishna. On the other hand, I'll tell you a pastime. Once there was a peacock. Yes, there was a peacock, and this peacock was in great distress. He was in great anxiety, great trouble. So there was one. So this peacock tried to go to some sages. And the sages told him, oh, you are in trouble. You have to take the shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. Matta Parataram Nanyat. Take shelter of Krishna. And better will be if you take shelter of Krishna. Now, previously we used to have this called local calls, roaming calls. Now also we have no roaming facility. So if you are in roaming, the charge will be more. So better you go to local, go to Vrindavan where Krishna stays and start calling out for the master of Vrindavan. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So this peacock went to Vrindavan and started Krishna, 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 Krishna. He started calling. He was calling for hours together. His throat started paining. He started getting fatigued, tired. He called a resident. Oh, Baba. In Vrindavan, you called an old man Baba. He said, Baba, last so much time I'm calling for your Krishna, 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 and nobody's coming. Nobody's paying any heed to me. What is this? So is this your merciful master of your Vrindavan Dham? I heard this Vrindavan abode is very merciful. Vrindavan abode gives mercy to the distress. I've been crying here for last so many hours. Nothing happened. What is this? So Baba told him, you have been sadly mistaken. Our Vrindavan doesn't have master. He said, you're stunned, hooked. Yeah. This Vrindavan Dham is not on Krishna's name. Then he explained him. That Krishna, yes, Vrindavan Dham was on Krishna's name. But Krishna is so very, very pleased with his devotees, right? Krishna loves his devotees so much. So he gifted the Vrindavan Dham, the keys of the Vrindavan Dham. Normally we say, here's your key. People give the car key, the flat key, the bungalow key, right? The villas key. So the key, he gave it to a gopi called Vrinda Devi. And he named the abode also on her name. Yes, Vrinda one. So Vrindavan. Vrinda Devi is one. The forest of Vrinda Devi, Vrindavan. He named it on her. And this Vrinda Devi is also called the director of the Leela Shakti, the director of all the pastimes. She's a director. And she is also known, very famous in Vaikuntha as Tulsi Devi, as a plant who never leaves the lotus feet of Narayana. So in Vrindavan, she is a gopi called Vrinda Devi or Vrinda Gopi. Yeah, Vrinda. So Vrinda Devi goes and surrenders to Srimati Radharani, making her Vrindavaneshwari. Vrindavan Ishwari. That means the mistress of Vrindavan. So my dear Peacock, I don't know who told you all these wrong things. This Vrindavan actually doesn't have any master. It has mistress, Malkini. Yes, so you chant her names. And as soon as he called out for Radha, that's all. That's it. It was immediately he got mercy and he got delivered. As all his distress was finished. So now you tell me who is superior, Krishna or Radha? So we need to understand that from Tattva point of view. Yes, from the aspect point of view, Krishna is superior. But from the Leela point of view, Srimati Radharani is superior. Srimati Radharani is superior from Leela point of view. There was an Asura. This Asura was chanting he was chanting Krishna's name. Yes. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadava. He was chanting and he was causing all distress to all the devatas, all the demigods. They were all fed up with this guy. He's chanting Krishna's name and he's destroying all our properties. He's causing massacres. He's causing all kinds of troubles and he's tormenting all the other people. He's not letting us living in peace. So they all went. Brahma, Shiva, both of them raised hands. They said, we can't do anything. You have to go to Krishna. After all, he's his devotee. So they go to Krishna. They say, Krishna, look at this, your devotee. What is this guy doing? He's caused actually, he's a pain in our neck. See what he has done. And Krishna says, what to do? I can't do anything. Because he's my devotee after all. He's chanting my name. They said, at least try something. Try. Take Sudarshan Chakra, call. So Krishna called for Sudarshan. Sudarshan goes near, offers obeisances to that demon and comes back. And then the demigods, they understand that now we have to go to our mother, Srimati Radharani. So they go to Srimati Radharani. And what does Radharani do? Radharani says, Sudarshan, come here. Sudarshan comes. Yes, madam. Says, go kill that rascal and come back. Done. Thank you very much. Go back to Krishna. Finished. So like this, from Leela point of view, Radharani is superior in many aspects. Yes, she is superior. In fact, we'll discuss ahead. No, time is less. Previously, I was wondering what will I speak, but now I'm looking at the time. I have so much left to speak. Let's see. The second, coming to Sarva Shakti Man. Yes, Sarva Shakti. This is the second aspect of absolute truth. And we need to understand here that Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man, Dui Bhastu Bedanai Shastra Praman. So Radha Purna Shakti. Radha is called as Purna Shakti, the complete energy of Krishna. Krishna has different energies. Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Bala Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Many Shaktis. But the combination of all the Shaktis is Srimati Radharani. She's called Purna Shakti. Correct? She's the source of all Shakti. And Krishna Purna Shakti Man. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man. Yes, so Krishna is called Shaktiman, Radharani is called Shakti. Dui vastu bhedanai shastrera praman. So there is actually no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. Shakti mateyor abhedana. This Shruti mantra say that. So just like you cannot, there's a musk deer. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami gives the example of a musk deer. It's called Kasturi Mriga. Mriga means deer and Kasturi is that wonderful fragrance that emanates from the meat of, my God, I think some devotee went into ecstasy after smelling musk. Okay, musk was available, smelled it, went into ecstasy. Happens, no worries. So musk deer, such a wonderful. But can you separate the musk from the deer? The fragrance from the deer? No, you cannot. Correct? It's a very intoxicating smell. Similarly, can you separate heat from fire? No. Similarly, you cannot separate Radha from Krishna. She is the Antaranga Swarupa of Krishna. She is an intricate property of Krishna, internal property of Krishna. And the third aspect of Srimati Radharani, of absolute truth, is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. That means Krishna becomes the enjoyer. He's the enjoyer of all mellows. He enjoys different mellows with different devotees. There are 5 primary rasas, 7 secondary rasas. He's enjoying all that. And what is Srimati Radharani? Srimati Radharani is Saksha, the Ladini potency. The enjoyment of Krishna, the Ananda of Krishna, the Ananda that Krishna experienced. That Ananda actually is Srimati Radha. That personification of Krishna's bliss is Srimati Radharani. So we see that how in the 3 aspects of absolute truth, Radha and Krishna are interrelated. Param Tattva, Sarva Shaktiman, Akhila, Rasamrita, Murti. Yeah. So now one may ask, what does Radha do for Krishna then? What is Radha's, how does she exactly, what she does? So the Shastras say, Bahukanta vina nahi rasera ullas lila rasahaya lagi bahuta prakash. So wherever there is an opportunity for serving Krishna, Radharani appears there. Yes. So Radharani, Bahukanta vina nahi rasera ullas. So Kanta means lovers. Kanta means lovers of Krishna. So Bahukanta means many lovers. Nahi rasera ulla. So Krishna wants to enjoy this rasa. Akhila Rasamrit Murti. But who facilitates that? Who provides the facility to enjoy this unlimited rasa? It is Srimati Radharani. Yes. How? Bahukanta Vistare. She expands. Yes. Bahuta Prakash. In Vaikunta, she expands as Vaikunta Lakshmis. Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Seviman. In Dwarka, she expands as Dwarka Mahishis, Raja Mahishis, the queens of Dwarka. And in Vrindavan, she expands as Vraja Gopi Gana. So all these lovers of Krishna are nothing but expansions of Radharani. And she is also expanded as Krishna's Kaustubhamani. Srivatsa Chinna is Radharani, the golden hair on Krishna's body. In fact, why she expands as Srivatsa Chinna? I had a question, but then I heard from my spiritual master. So Radharani, she has expanded as Kaustuba, as the Srivatsa Chinna, the golden hair on Krishna's chest, because whenever Krishna is alone, she would immediately expand there and she would start serving Krishna. So whenever Krishna needs his service and suppose he happens to be alone, now nobody else is there, she is present there. She is present with Krishna to immediately come and render service. So you see, this is what Radharani does for Krishna. In fact, every pastime of Krishna is possible only by Radharani's mercy. Yeah. So there was a discussion going on amongst Vrajvasis. All Vrajvasis were having a discussion. And some were saying, oh, Krishna is so great. Yeah, so great. He lifted the Govardhan and stood there for 7 days and 7 nights. And the Gopas of Krishna, they said, come on, what is this? This is nonsense. How can this Krishna, who is such a tender boy, whom we every day defeat in Kushti, the game of, fighting, we defeat him. How can he lift? It is we all, the Gopas, who are holding, with our sticks, we are holding the Govardhan. And the Brahmana said, that's all nonsense. Utter nonsense. It is actually Madhumangal. He is a divine Brahmana. Yes, divine Brahma Tejas. Because of his Brahma Tejas, he was lifting the Govardhan. And the Gopis, they all said, all of you are wrong. Extremely wrong. It is actually Srimati Radharani who's empowering Krishna to lift the Govardhan. Who's correct? Option A, B, C, or D. What do you think? All are correct. Let me tell you, even before you type the letter, let me tell you, all are correct. But in spiritual world, everything starts with the best. And similarly, in spiritual world, everything is correct. Nobody can speak lies. Can with the Vrajvasis lie? Krishna's devotees are free from the fault of lying. They are free from all this cheating propensity, which is the nature of conditioned soul. They will not cheat. They will not bluff. So all are correct, but there is something called most correct. Correct, more correct, more correct, most correct. The most correct option is Srimati Radharani, the Shakti of Krishna, who's facilitating. Because all pastimes are facilitated by Radharani. Okay, then what does she do for the Jivatmas? What the Jivatma she does? Ata eva sarva puja parama devata sarva palika sarva jagatira mata. Please understand, Radharani sarva puja. Lakshmi's, Dwarka Mahishis, all the Rajagopi Gand, all of them worship Radharani. They all worship Radharani. Parvati, Durga, Sati, all these chaste ladies, Anasuya, they all worship Radharani. See, Sarva Puja. Parama Devata. We just now saw this pastime of the Sudarshan Chakra, the demon getting killed, right? Parama Devata. She's the supreme goddess. Nobody can surpass her. And the third is Sarva Palika. Sarva Palika. She's the one who maintains the devotion in the heart of the devotees. So as a very, very compassionate mother, Srimati Radharani protects our devotion. As a very, very compassionate mother, Srimati Radharani takes our devotion and offers it to Krishna. And she removes all the fault in. Our devotion is faulty. Our devotion is superficial. Our devotion is actually stupidity. But Srimati Radharani has the potency to purify it. When I was trained in a Bhoga offering by my superiors, they were training us how to offer Bhoga to the Lordships. So that time I was told, actually we are offering this Bhoga to your Guru because your relationship is only with your Guru. He has given you Diksha. Correct? So it's with Guru. Guru offers it to his Guru. His Guru offers to his Guru. Like that. It goes on in Parampara. And finally, that plate of Bhoga reaches Srimati Radharani. And at that particular stage, what are all the external apparent faults? Radharani takes away everything and then she offers it to Krishna. And after Krishna accepts it, she also accepts it and comes back in mercy, in Parampara. But it's ultimately Srimati Radharani who accepts devotion. So, my dear friends, dear devotees, it is not possible for all of us to offer our bhakti to Krishna without offering it to Srimati Radharani. Yes, so she's Sarva Palika, Sarva Jagatera Mata, very compassionate mother. Yeah. We know the story of the jackal who was crying. And ultimately, I'm cutting it short because of lack of time. The jackal was crying loudly for mercy. There were some kids who were stoning the jackal, she jackal. She was crying. She was stoning, getting stoned by the children and they were playing. The jackal had finally to take shelter of a cave. She hid in the cave. And the kids were very, very atrocious. They took sticks and big flammable substances and put it to fire. And the she jackal was trapped. And that is when the she jackal started crying. And then that cry attracted the mercy of Lalita Devi. Lalita Devi is called as Anuradha. Why she is called Anuradha? Because she is the one whom Radharani follows. She is the mentor of Srimati Radharani, the elder sister of Radharani. So first comes Lalita Shashti. She is 2 years and 2 days elder to Radharani. Lalita Shashti. And then we see that there is Radha Ashtami. That's why we celebrate Lalita Shashti also. And we celebrate Radha Ashtami also. Yes. Vishakha Devi is 1 year and 1 day elder to Radharani. It's like all other gopis. Tungavidya, Indulekha are also elder to Radharani. They are 3 years and 3 days, 4 years and 4 days like that. They're all sisters of Vrishabhanu Maharaj's brothers' daughters. So they're all in one sense cousin sisters. That's the relationship, Ashta Gopikas. Right? So Lalita Devi is like the Guru. But Guru finally takes that disciple who's crying. He takes that conditioned soul from the fire of material existence, samsara davanal, and takes to Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani gives the supreme mercy to that wonderful jiva. Yes, so that is why it is said that our acharyas used to say we are not servants of Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said we are actually not servants of Krishna. We don't do devotion to Krishna. We are all servants of Srimati Radharani. Yeah. The devotees of Durga are called Shaktas. The devotees of Shiva are called as Shaivites. The devotees of Vishnu are Vaishnavas. The devotees of Krishna are Krishnaites. The devotees of Srimati Radharani are called Gaudiyas. So that's our parampara. We are from the Gaudiya parampara. We are all devotees of Srimati Radharani. Yeah, Radharani's devotees. So that's our philosophy. My God, time is up. I respect time always. More than half of my lecture is remaining, but anyway, no problem. Hare Krishna. We'll pause here.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Guruji. Guruji, if it is okay for you, we can extend also a little bit.
Really?
It doesn't have 1 hour has passed actually. Yeah. From our side,
I'll do one thing. Amritariba, I respect time also. I just check. I've just made short notes for myself. Okay. So I will need, practically speaking, 10 minutes. I'll complete.
thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
Try to concisely present. I will not make it elongated and dramatic. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So if you see, how did Srimati Radharani appear? It's very important to discuss also today. I thought we will discuss that past time. I'll spend time on that. So many of them have this doubt how Srimati Radharani appeared. There's a beautiful story behind that. Srimati Radharani and there's another girl. Both are golden and whitish girls who are being carried by Putana. Putana is the demoness who is known for murdering. She is called Bala Ghatini, killing innocent, poor children. Yes. If you want to hear the story ahead, please turn on videos. I know many of you will be having your dinner supper. Please. I need inspiration. Thank you. So, Putana was carrying these two children and she was going and suddenly she was traveling to Vindhyachal. And as she was traveling to Vindhyachal, the sages of Vindhyachal saw that, oh, what is this demoniac lady carrying two very, very beautiful girls and going? So they immediately cursed, "Arey, let these children get relieved of the grip of this demoness." And one of the child, she was in Rukma Varna. Rukma is kind of, it's also whitish color. Yes, whitish color, little reddish. That's called Rukma Varna. So her name became Rukmini later on. She was dropped in Vidarbha Kshetra. And the second girl was molten golden in color, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, who was dropped in onto a very beautiful arrangement of Lord. She was dropped into a very beautiful lotus. And the girl fell there. She fell on the top of lotus. And there was one personality. Yes, his name was Vrishabhanu. Vrishabhanu is actually a post. Vrishabhanu is one who has 12 lakh cows, is called Vrishabhanu. Just like Nanda is also a post. A person who has 9 lakh cows is called Nanda. So Vrishabhanu, the possessor of 12 lakh cows, he did not have, he was aspiring for a child. He was praying. Yes, he was praying intensely. That time, suddenly there is something that came and touched his body. A lotus came and touched his body. And he looked into the lotus. There was a very, very beautiful child. He brought this child to his home and very happily announced this to his wife, Kirtida Sundari. And they kept the child in the cradle where the child is there. And they announced to everyone. They were so happy. They just announced to everyone that we found a child, very beautiful child. Please come and have darshan of our child. But there was an issue. This child was not crying. The child was not smiling. The child wasn't seeing. The child was not opening the eyes. It doesn't seem the child was able to hear anything. They were trying all the means to wake up the child. The child appeared to be having life, but apparently lifeless. What is it? Now, many ask this question that what is the age difference between Krishna and Srimati Radharani? Yes. So if you see Krishna and Radharani, there is a paksha, there's one paksha difference. Correct? The paksha means now Ashtami, Krishna Ashtami, and Radhika also Ashtami. Correct? So that's a paksha. So actually Krishna is 1 year and one paksha elder to Radha. Paksha is 15 days. Yeah. So Ashtami to Ashtami. So Krishna is 1 year and one paksha elder to Radharani. So Krishna was already 1 year old and he was 1 paksha old. So he also comes when Nanda Maharaj and Yashodarani come. And Krishna peeps into that particular cradle and he shows. And as soon as Krishna is looking at Radharani, Radharani immediately opens all her senses. She opens her eyes, she opens her ears, she opens her mouth, and then she is completely awakened. So that is what Radharani, right from the beginning of her appearance, taught all of us that principle. That yes, open your eyes only to see Krishna's form. Open your ears only to hear the words of Krishna. Yes, open your mouth to only speak about Krishna. Open your nose only to smell Krishna's flowers. And she became completely awakened. So that is what she taught is Aradhana. Aradhana means to employ all our senses in Krishna's service. And that is why Bhagavatam she is addressed as Aradhika. Anayaradhito nunam Bhagavan Haririshwara Tanno Vihaya Govinda Pritoyam Manu Yadvaya. So she is called by Shukadev Goswami as Aradhana, Aradhito, because she used to worship Krishna. So this is intensity of worship, only Krishna, nothing else, completely Krishna conscious. That's why he said, Devi Krishna Mai Prokta, Krishna Mai. She's completely Krishna conscious. That's Krishna Mai is actually Krishna consciousness. That's the very objective of all the devotees in the movement of Iskcon. What is Krishna conscious? Definition is also given. Krishna Mai Krishna Yara Bhitare Bahire Jaha Jaha Netra Pade Taha Krishna Spure. Krishna consciousness means wherever your eyes fall, you will only see Krishna. Whether it be inside, outside, everywhere, wherever your eyes are falling, you will only see Krishna. And that is the property of Srimati Radharani, Krishnamai. Yes, Krishnamai. So, we all need to understand one thing, that whenever Bhagavan incarnates, yes, Bhagavan's different leelas, Lord performs leelas. So there is a Purusha Avatar Leela. Purusha Avatar Leela means generation, operation, destruction. The Leela performed by Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. These are confidential pastime. But more confidential Leelas are the Leelas which are performed by Leela avatars like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha. Correct? But among the Leela avatars, the more confidential pastimes are the pastimes which are performed by the human-like incarnation like Vamana, Parashurama, Rama. Yes, they are all more confidential. Among that, the more confidential pastimes are the pastimes of Krishna. And Krishna's pastimes are divided into three parts: Vrindavan Leela, Mathura Leela, Dwarka Leela. Among these three Leelas, the Vrindavan Leela is the most confidential. Among Vrindavan Leela, Krishna performs pastimes in Shantaras, with Dasiras. There is Shantaras, Dasiras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Shringaras. Madhurya is very sweet. That's why it's called Shringaras. That's the conjugal love. So amongst that, conjugal love is the supreme. And conjugal love is, Krishna performs this pastime with countless gopis in Vrindavan. But among those countless gopis, 16,100 gopis pastime is more confidential. Among those 16,100 gopis, 108 gopis are principal gopis who are even more confidential. So Krishna performing Leela with them is even more confidential. Amongst those 108 gopis, there are Ashta Sakhis. Yes, Parama Preshta Sakhis they are called. There is 108 are Krishna Preshta Sakhis. The 8 are called Parama Preshta Sakhis. These Sakhis, the Krishna is performing the pastime with these 8 Sakhis, like Tunga Vidya, Induleka, Sudevi, Ranga Devi, Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, and Champaklata. These are the 8 gopis. You can see the wonderful darshan in Mayapur. In Iskcon Tirupati also they have Ashtasakhi Brinda. Yes. So this Leela is even more confidential. Among those 8, of course, 8, there are 2 more special gopis with whom Krishna performs the pastime. After this 8. That's not among, after this 8. Because Radharani doesn't come. So Radha and Chandravali. So there's a left wing gopis and right wing gopis. The left wing gopi, because Radharani appears actually from the heart of Krishna. So she has the left wing of gopis. And Chandravali comes from Krishna's right hand side, right hand. So she is the right wing gopis. Among them also, the scriptures say that Srimati Radharani is the best Kanta. So Krishna's Leela with Radharani is the most confidential. That is why Tanno Vihaya Govindo Pritoyam Anuyadvaya. She has pleased Krishna so much with devotion and service that Krishna has left all of us. Vihaya, Tanno Vihaya Govinda, he is given up all of Pritoyam Anuyadvaya. She must be really dear. Who's that? Radharani. Yes. So this was one part that I wanted to speak. And the last part that I wanted to speak was, now this is something, please be very, very attentive, otherwise you're going to miss it. Let us see the different stages of Bhakti. I'll tell you why. Why? Because Srimati Radharani is personification of Bhakti. So let us see different stages. One starts the stage of Bhakti with Sadhu Sangha, association with devotees. When you associate with devotees, the devotees engage you in Bhajana Kriya. That means there is a second stage wherein, of course, there is Adav Shraddha. You have a particular, Adav Shraddha is having some faith in scriptures, because of which you go to devotees, right? And when you go to devotees, they engage in bhajana kriya, which means devotional service. Please hear attentively. By performing devotional service, all your anarthas go away, anartha nivritti. When you perform when your anartha nivritti, anarthas start going away, bahudesha vartini, then you reach a stage called nishtha. The platform of nishtha, where you perform devotional service steadily without breaks, without diluting your standards. Beyond the stage of nishtha is the stage of ruchi, where you are performing bhakti with taste. You're having taste for the process. And when you have taste for the process, you keep doing bhakti, you develop attachment to the deity, attachment for Krishna. You're not able to live separately. And then comes emotions when you're serving. Yes, sattvika vikar, therefore, sattvika vikar. Like hair standing on end, tears rolling, and one becomes ecstatic. Yes, that is ashta sattvic vikar. Then comes the stage of prema. We all know, have knowledge till here only. Stage of prema. Of course, to reach there also is long way. Above the stage of prema is a stage called sneha. If prema is called as ghee, sneha is actually that molten ghee which flows. So the love flowing is sneha. Above the stage of sneha is mana, where there is no just flowing of love, there is also anger. Now, normally in this world, the anger comes by kamat krodho bhi jayate. When your lust is frustrated, you get anger. But this mana that is performed, this anger is out of giving pleasure to Krishna. Krishna loves to be more than the Vedic chants. Om Hari Om Tatsa Devaya Vishnu, like that, more than those Vedic chants, etc. Krishna loves some very nice abuses from the gopis. The gopis call Krishna bad names. Krishna, wow, very nice. Please continue. This is sweeter. When you do Narayana Sukti, Sukti leads to Sukti. Narayana sleeps off. But when Krishna, gopis, they're cursing Krishna, Krishna loves it. But above the stage of mana is pranaya. Pranaya is a stage where mana is anger. Angry. No, I'll not talk to Krishna. Radharani is to go to man with Krishna. But in pranaya, one literally scolds Krishna left, right, center continuously. That is pranaya. Above pranaya is the stage of raga. Raga, where a person can go in pain. Even in the pain, one is in greatest pleasure because Krishna is getting pleasure. And beyond that is anuraga, where every single painful, it takes pain to serve Krishna. Every single pain is a new experience. Above that is bhava, where one has maddening emotions. Above that is mahabhava, which is super duper maddening emotions. And Srimati Radharani has a property which is called Madanokya Mahabhav, which transforms a person's color into golden. And that is why she's called Mahabhava Swarupini, Sri Radha Thakurani, Sarva Guna Khani Krishna, Kanta Shiromani. So can you imagine where we are? My God, we are not even taking proper sadhu sangha. We are not taking association or when devotees give association, we sleep. We are doing something else. We prioritize something else. Let's do something else. Now, something else more interesting. So we are not even on that stage. And Radharani, where is she? Mahabhava. So she's the personification of that Mahabhav. Mahabhava Swarupini Shri Radha Thakurani. She's mistress. Sarva Guna Khani. She is a wonderful gold mine of all beautiful, wonderful qualities. Yes, that's why she's called Sadgunali Pandita. And Krishna Kanta Shiromani, the topmost lover of Krishna. Topmost lover of Krishna. I'll end with a pastime. Srila Prabhupada was like, one day he was on fire. Devotees are telling, come on, Prabhupada, lust is so very prominent in this world, very difficult to give up lust. Prabhupada said, I'll kick Mr. Lust with my boots. Sir, Prabhupada, but lust is so strong. Oh, you can put me in a chamber with many naked women, but still I will not get disturbed. And devotees were like shocked. Oh. And that evening they saw Srila Prabhupada was intensely praying to Radharani. Intensely praying. So devotees went and asked Prabhupada, what are you praying to Radharani so intensely? I'm telling Radharani to protect me from lust. You said that you will not be disturbed. I'm not disturbed because I'll keep praying to Radharani and she'll keep blessing me. Yes. So Radharani's blessings is something that Srila Prabhupada taught with his personal example, that we have to keep praying so we can conquer this enemy of lust. And who is? Lust is Madan. Madan is the one operating lust. And Krishna controls lust. Yes, Uddhama Bhava Pishunamala Valguhasa Vridavaloka Rato Madanopi Asam. Krishna could defeat this lust just by sidelong glance. So Krishna is Madan Mohan. And who's Radharani? Radharani is Madan, Mohan, Mohini, one who even charms Krishna is Srimati Radharani. So for all of us, the same Radha and Krishna, the two absolute truth we have taken. Say dui eka habe Chaitanya Gosai. So for all of us, Radha and Krishna has appeared as one again, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rasa aswadite dohe haila ekatai. So just for now, those two who used to relish loving pastimes, they became one. And this was the darshan that Mahaprabhu gave to our Ramanand Rai. Ramanand Rai got this darshan of that Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nai. And we'll just sing one stanza and we will end. This is from Yadi Gaur Noita. I'm not singing the whole bhajan. I wish I could. Is it Gaurana? Yadi Gaura? No. We'll sing this. And then, yeah, this see. Yadi Gaura Hoito, Tabeki Hoito, Kemone Dhari Tande, Radhar Mahima. Prema rasa sima jagata janato ke. I'm tempted to sing the other lines also. We'll quickly sing. Let's just sing this one. Madhur vrinda nipina madhuri pravesha chaturi sa brajayo vati maher bhagati shakati hoito. Yadi gaur hoito, tabe ki hoito, kemone dhari tanje. So actually, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu has come. For what purpose? He is offering the topmost. That is the love of Krishna. Practicing devotional service towards Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani is come to offer that, the topmost thing available to the most unqualified and fallen souls in the entire creation, that is all of us, the wonderful great souls of Kali Yuga. So that is the greatness of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Yes. And actually, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains, whatever lecture I have spoken is from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Prabhupada's purports and lectures of many wonderful devotees from that. But he has explained all this to explain about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You cannot understand Mahaprabhu. First, you understand Krishna, understand Radha, then you will understand Mahaprabhu. So in that context, he explains about Radha. So it is very important to mention Mahaprabhu also. So I just did that part. So thank you all very, very much for tolerating my very, very long and tiring lecture. But you all were so very enthusiastic. You can all show your video once just to see how many of you are still alert, awake, and alive. No, but not bad. Good teacher. Thank you. It's all my credit. Thank you. I was a good teacher. Just joking. You're all such wonderful devotees. Such wonderful devotees.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Today, all the devotees, they have decided to participate in the Japa Marathon. But many devotees, they completed 16 rounds and they'll be completing 16 more rounds. So we are doing this Japa Marathon today. And I'm sure after hearing you such wonderfully explaining the importance of Radha Ashtami and the glories of Srimati Radharani, our next 16 rounds are going to be much more ecstatic and with much more prayerful and bigger attitude. So thank you again very, very much, Roji. Roji, is it okay if we do some question answers for a few minutes? Is it
okay? Please.
Thank you. So, devotees, if anyone would like to just come and ask a few questions, you can come here and ask. Anything is fine, like even if it is not very directly related to today's context, if any questions are there.
Can you even ask out of syllabus?
Yeah.
I think it was all clear for them. We understood everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can give a chance to devotees on chat also if they would like to ask anything, online participants.
There's one hand up.
Okay. Surabhi Mataji, yeah, you can go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a wonderful lecture. I just wanted to ask that tomorrow, what should be our mood of prayer and how should we serve? Like, what should be our mood while we are serving Radharani and what should we pray?
Okay.
Thank you.
The highest thing that one can ever pray, if you look at the Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is full of wonderful prayers. Wonderful prayers. And the devotees in Bhagavatam have taught us how to pray. They pray for two things. Yes, one thing that they pray is association of devotees. Yeah, that is one thing that devotees pray. The second thing that they pray is for serving in association of devotees. Just pure service with the right service attitude. The mood of service. So Srimati Radharani is an abode of service. She is called a supreme personality of Sarvitra Godhead. So let us just pray for service. Because ultimately, what is Hare Krishna Mahamantra? When you're chanting, O divine energy of the all-attractive person and the supreme enjoyer, please engage me in your loving service. So this is the prayer. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the highest prayer. But it's only that we need to be conscious of that. So that is something we definitely can pray. We can pray for service in the right mood, in a very healthy association. That will keep us humble also. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one devotee wanted to ask, but he's shy to come forward. So, asking how to understand Radharani becoming hair of Krishna, and which pastime is this related to?
Oh, she eternally resides there. That's her place, because that's a place where heart is there, right? That's the place she has come from, the heart. So that's a manifestation, the golden hair of Krishna, and which is eternally there as a part. And why not? There is nothing wrong. One may think hair in this world is compared to, it's actually called amedyam. Amedyam is as good as stool. That is what is described over. That is Krishna's hair. Krishna's hair is supremely bent. That's a golden hair. As that. So we need to understand that Srimati Radharani is a personality who can just keep herself. Like we say, a devotee is like a salt. When not required, the devotee, like nobody glorifies the salt in an item. You take an item, we eat the item. Suppose there is a wonderful paneer sabji. So eating. I know all of you are fasting. I'm so sorry. I'm giving you a feast very early. So there's eating paneer sabji. People will glorify the paneer. They may glorify the butter which is put. They may glorify the masalas. Yes, all the other things wonderfully made. But nobody will glorify, oh, the salt is very nice. Oh, paneer sabji salt was very good. Nobody glorifies the salt. Because the salt is something that is put which adds taste. If there is no salt, the preparation will not be tasty. Immediately, oh, this is not having salt. Or if it is too much, people say, but it is too much salt. They blame the salt for that. But nobody glorifies the salt when it's in the right proportion. So Srimati Radharani has that particular mood, for which she is staying, she's there. At the same time, she's not visible as a personality. She's there as a very insignificant, apparently, as a part of her, but she manifests whenever Krishna needs her. Otherwise, she remains in background. It is there. There's a pastime. But Srimati Radharani comes. There's a Jhulan that Radha and Krishna are doing, and she thinks that I think Lalita will give Krishna more pleasure to do Jhulan. So she makes her sit and she starts, doing this. Whoever gives Krishna more pleasure, they can serve Krishna. I will love to remain in background. That is the mood of Srimati Radharani. So that is what I can perceive of your question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there are two more questions on chat. One is why we are called Vaishnavas, not Gaudas, as you mentioned.
Oh, yes.
Like you.
Okay.
And the other one is what offering we can do to Radha Ashtami.
Very good. I'll tell you both. Both the questions I'll tell. So one thing is, we are actually called Gaudiya Vaishnavas. That's our sampradaya. We are from a Vaishnava sampradaya, but Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So there is nothing wrong in calling, oh, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. We say now best among Vaishnavas. Or say in general, everyone is categorized as Vaishnavas, but specifically, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We are Vaishnavas because of Radharani. That's why we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Okay, that's our identity. Now, what is the favorite offering of food for Radha? Radharani loves arbi. You know arbi? I don't know what arbi they say. I'll just Google it. If anyone knows, they can put it in the chat. What's arbi sabji called? Radharani loves that item. That's a favorite item. And Radharani is, the kitchen department is Radharani's department. She never repeats one item again. Arbi, vegetable in English. I just Google it. Yeah, it's called taro root. Okay, you call it colocasia? No, taro root. That's arbi. I can show you all. You can see that. Yeah, this is the subject, arbi. Taro root. Okay, it's colocasia. Okay, fine. If that's what it's called in Canada, you can use that. No problem.
Any other food, Prabhuji?
Project devotees want to prepare this annakut, so they are asking anything else other than the sabji if we can offer.
Well, you can offer. You can offer very nice items with devotion. Offer many things. You want to make annakut, many items. Yeah, you can make. What I have heard is this is the favorite fruit. You can make different varieties of arbi. That is there. But other than arbi, also she would take other things. She'll accept with love whatever you cook. She'll offer it to Krishna and she will take. Definitely. All the best. Send me pics after it's offered.
Any other? Yeah. Project, one last question, if it's okay.
Sure, no problem.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Radharani is not mentioned a lot in the scriptures. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, they say Ek Gopi. They don't mention Radharani's name a lot. Is there any reason for that?
Radharani, I quoted many shlokas from the scripture only. This word Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Parar Devata is the Gautamiya Tantra. It is there in the scriptures. Yeah. So we find that there are references of Radharani in the scriptures, but they're hidden. We have to find out. That's why our Goswamis have done thorough study. Jiva Goswami, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, and they presented. I will request you to please read Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 4th chapter. Yes, this particular, you will find many references to Radharani from many. So there are references where Radharani is same as Rukmini. It's spoken in it's spoken in Skanda Purana. I think Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, one of the Puranas. It's mentioned. Who's Radha is Rukmini, like that. So there are many references where Radha is mentioned. Thank you. You'll have to unmute, Prabhu.
Time.
So you can repeat. Sorry, it was on mute.
No, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am Vilas. I joined for the first time in this sessions of Iskcon in Calgary. I am very fortunate that today is the right day I started my journey to meet Radharani and Krishna. My question is, Prabhuji, there are so many mantras about Krishna, but there is no mantra or any chanting japa for Radharani, only exclusively for Radharani. Why is that?
Yeah, because you will find that in all temples, your deities are Shri Radha Madhav, Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Shri Radha Kunj Bihari, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radha Gopinath. So Krishna is changing as per all his pastimes. Krishna's name as per pastime is changing, whereas Radharani is not changing. Radharani is very much there. Radharani's name is not changing with the pastime. Of course, some temples have Kishore or Kishori. Right. So we need to understand Srimati Radharani wants to exhibit her position very clearly, that she is the servitor Godhead. The Godhead may enjoy in different ways, but I release only one mode of service. So that is why she is always spoken in connection with the Shaktiman. That's the way to glorify the Shakti. We never worship Shakti alone. Neither should we worship Shaktiman also alone. We should always worship Shakti and Shaktiman together. That is why all our mantras are always in connection with Krishna. Is it okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. So I think we are apparently done with the question answers. And again, Prabhuji would like to thank you for accepting our, our humble request to be giving your association to all the devotees. It was very inspiring, and we hope we get to hear more and more from you in coming future as well. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We'll end with thanking Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all very much for giving me a chance. Hare Krishna.